But Brian Tracy talked about something called Someday Isle, the island of excuse makers. And he would ask audiences this in his talks, where he would say, who has a dream or a goal of being financially independent, who has a dream or goal of being 10% body fat and adding 10 pounds of muscle, or whatever yours might be. And inevitably all of the audience would raise their hand, and then he would ask one question. And this question was designed to show you your favorite excuses, which is a tough pill to swallow. But when you start swallowing that pill, you can start improving your life dramatically. He would say, I got one question for you. Why haven't you done it already? And the first three answers that pop into your head are your favorite excuses. So Someday Isle is an island where the excuse makers hang out. And they all suffer from the same disease on Someday Isle. And it's the disease of Excuse-itis, the inflammation of the excuse-making gland. And for us, for people in the home services, these excuses or things that we're foregoing because we have reasons not to yet are things like improving my presentation, role playing in the evening and on the weekend. For technicians and those of us in technical fields, it's why I'm not spending an hour 3 days a week in the evening, where I'm simply dedicating this hour to getting better at my craft, which can be just reading magazines, contractor magazines on plumbing, HVAC, electrical, whatever I do for a living. And then the presentation side is, I wouldn't say it's more important, but it's just as important. And that is just working on our communication skills. And it doesn't mean always watching YouTube videos or audiobooks or listening to the Waste No Day podcast. It can be as simple as going out to a restaurant or just a store and saying, like, I'm gonna find, like, we'll go to Walmart, I'm gonna find 3 people, and I'm gonna just find out what city 3 people grew up in. I can't tell you how beneficial these kind of exercises are to your communication skills, because it's just putting you a little bit outside your comfort zone. And then when you go do this, what you do for a living and communicating with people, you're just a little bit better at it. Now, you don't do it on Tuesday and then you're 10 times better on Thursday, but you do a little bit a couple times a week throughout the rest of 2024 or whatever year it might be when you listen to this. And the next year and the year after that and the year after that, you are multiples better at communicating and having basic conversations with people. And remember, breaking the ice, the initial break of the conversation and bringing the wall, the barrier down between you and the other person, that's the hardest part. So if you get really good at that, the rest of it will just kind of flow. Just do it. Like, what do you have to lose? An hour a week, 3 times a week. 2 of them, I'm gonna get better at my craft if I'm in a technical field. 1 of them, I'm gonna go out and find some place to work on my communication skills. Just remember this. The part that can help the most, or at least did for me when I started the self-improvement, betterment journey. The time passes anyway. So whether I had started doing this in 2004, 2005 or not, it was gonna be 2024 right now, and 20 years have passed. And I could have done what I did and obsessed over self-development and just getting better in every aspect of my life that I could, or I could have just went into cruise control like vast majority of people do, taking a trip out to Someday Isle. Someday I'll get better, someday I'll improve, someday I'll invest in myself, someday I'll spend actual money to get better at my presentation or my technical skills. Someday. That's not today, but someday. But I didn't do that, and I don't want you to do that. Anyway, when you're not doing that, tune into the Waste No Day podcast. New content every week. We also had Brian Tracy on the show. I think it was around December of 2023. Great episode. Check it out.